Hey everyone, continuing with the VDB morphing effect. In the previous lesson, we were doing the primarily the morphing process, and we had a look on different uh, versions of achieving the effect, and I've chosen the last one, which in my opinion I think was the fastest method to use. And so continuing from this place, there was a question on how to transfer the textures uh, and keep those UVs of both geometries. So uh, having that question actually, uh, and thinking of like how can you transfer textures, you should also um, transfer them like you would usually use an attribute transfer node, but in this case we have two type textures and two type UVs, and also we have different type of geometry uh, with the constantly changing number of polygons, which creates sort of a problem of simply attribute transferring textures or UVs. So in this lesson um, we will take a look on two methods that you might like to use in your case. So the first one will transfer uh, the the texture colors primarily, and the second one will try to transfer UVs and then apply textures on top of it. Okay, so here I've prepared an uprest version of that morph. It's a bit fast just because it's a bit fast just because I didn't want to spend too much time on waiting all those uh, caching happen. Okay, so here we have our geometry, and um, we need to extract those textures. How would you do that, since we know that these ones are HTAs, and we can either go inside of HDA and simply copy that texture and go out. And for example, if I do a quick shade, so, and just paste relative reference, and here I have my texture being applied. Or another method, I can go type properties and go to extra files, and here I have my low res JPEG texture, and just simply save it on my hard drive, and then I can easily use it. Okay, and if for example it's not an HDA, it's a geometry that you painted on, or have some noises applied to it, okay, uh, you can bake your textures. And so for example, if you here we have a rubber toy, whereas for example it doesn't have any texture, so I saved the texture by using the method that I showed, and here I have my point warp where I'm applying this texture onto point level, okay, as a color. So this is geometry, and I have applied it, the on the points. It's a color now, okay. So we have color, and then it's a necessary one. So here I have my geometry that I would like to bake, and here I have prepared the setup. Now what we have, so here's the rubber toy, and okay, I think I need that normals. And our camera. Okay, what about this one? Oh, right. I've created this since the built-in attribute doesn't work in texture section. So I created a custom attribute, which is CLR, which is equal CD attribute. So now everything just works fine. So here you see if, for example, you have a painted texture or some noises applied to your geometry, you can paint, you can bake this your texture and then apply as a color. Okay, so here I'm using the texture that I'm applied to the rubber toy, this attribute that I'm using, and this is the Karma UV lens shader, which actually converts and gives you the baked version of your geometry, okay, based on UVs. So you apply this UV lens shader to your camera, and then in render settings you simply you add resolution, you choose your camera, and here you have global. You have to apply an ID. So here I have ID number 2, and tiling also applied, and this in global section you also choose the same ID to have that render, okay, in the render settings. And then a light, I just want to have a flat color of the texture, and then simply render settings, just put all those necessary settings and just render it out. Okay, and another thing you probably would like to play with it, I've changed this max distance, since it gave me some different looks. So 1, in my case, it worked just fine. Okay, so this way you can bake your textures. So next, so we have our textures saved or baked and saved also. And now what we do, so here I have 2 original geometries, okay, so they have proper geometry and UVs as well. So I'm adding some resolution to to the geometry, and I'm applying the facet node and checking these unique points. This way I'm breaking those polygons and promoting my UVs from vertex to points. And this way, if I now apply my texture, I have my textures applied. And here I'm using the same texture, but on I'm applying it on points. Why I'm splitting, if I'm, for example, turn this off, you see I have this seams, UV seams, which is not desirable. So that's why I'm splitting. So this way I'm having properly, I have properly transferred my UVs from vertex to points. Okay, and here I have applied both of the textures. So I know that we have a different number of polygons, vertices, and so on. So it would be difficult to morph like from this shape to this shape. But since we have points, we can use them to actually to carry all those information that we can use. Okay. So here I have, since I've applied to my geometry this color texture, it transfers to points. Okay, so here I'm sorting my geometry and creating a basic mix. The position and the color, which is simply driven by a parameter. So here I have my points morphing from one to another, and I'm trying to actually to keep the timing so they would morph equally, and this way I can transfer my colors from one to another. Okay, and here we have our first result, which is the point based. So here I have my geometry and transfer. So starting with the rubber toy, slowly transforming. Okay, if I, for example, let me do a quick flipbook. So here we have our transition, and by tweaking all those parameters and playing with it a little bit, we can transfer our textures onto our geometry. Okay, or we can also do a mix. So we could have some additional colors to transfer before we transfer from one to another. Now it's a little bit kind of a just because of bed timing, it has kind of a not the look maybe you would desire to have, but you need to spend some time just to do it correct. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm actually using I'm transferring this attribute, the color attribute, and I'm using max sample count to blur the image. Because if I, for example, leave it as it is, it has that type of color. You can also fix that by not by simply transferring it like that, but it should have some kind of a more compact movement, and this way you could have a better transition. Okay, maybe I have applied too much blur here. For example, let me check this. Let me say like 12. Here as well. 12. Okay. Another method is the same, but in this case, I'm not using this blurring effect, but I'm using it actually afterwards. I'm applying the attribute blur with a with color CD attribute applied, and also blurring it. So maybe this could give you a better control. And maybe it's too evident. Okay. The other method, in the last lesson we were doing this type of effect, which could be used actually to add some interesting transitions. So here I have the setup, and I have my points blending this way because I've used the sorting by Y, and also I'm using the min pose function to actually to attach my points to the geometry that is actually morphing. This way I'd like to transfer colors like close I'd like to transfer the colors that is close to that mesh where it's attached currently. Okay, so this way I will have a better better color transformation. Okay, so if I play it backwards, so as you see, it has a better look on the color transition. Okay, let me do also. So here we have the preview of this technique, and as you see, it looks much better. It has some solid transitions, which makes it more meaningful. Okay, This way we can transfer our uh, textures onto our morphing geometry. Another way we can do is actually to play with the UVs. So here I have my UVs being transferred onto color. Okay, and I'm doing this on a point base since I have I have promoted my UVs from vertices to points, and here's the same procedure. Okay, we're adding some normals, and again we're using the same method. The same method with points. So here we have also that the VOP node that mixes those points, and this way we're transferring our UVs from one geometry to another. Okay, and now we can transfer these UVs to the geometry. Okay, you can also apply this method, which also will give you a much solid transition, but I think you just get the point what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so what I'm doing next, actually the first thing, I'm transferring attribute UVs from one geometry to another, but how would I mix now these both textures? I can do it the first way. What am I doing here? So here I'm transferring my color back to UVs. Okay, and I'm deleting the color attribute, and again here I'm applying this custom node that is simply a noise animation where I'm having this animated noise. And first I'm adding this to UVs just to have some distortion, but let me just turn this off for now. And next I'm having this my noise transition, and here I'm applying those two textures and I'm mixing them. So this way we have this colors also being transformed from one to another. Okay, and it's also being applied to the points other color. Okay, so I would probably apply this method, and then my transition would be much nicer. And also I would like to edit these textures a little bit just to get rid of these black holes that we have on our textures. Okay, just to paint them the same color, just to fill it, where we will now see how it works. So here's the another version where I'm actually using texture, the sequence the sequence that I've made in After Effects, where I've created this animated texture where I'm transforming one texture from one to another. And as you see, I don't have these black holes, which I think looks much better. Okay, so if I start from one, and go to another. Let me do a quick cache. And while it's caching, I would like to simply run through the animation of the texture. Okay, so here I have my two textures that I would like to transform, and I'm starting with the here I have my noise that I will use as the transition. Okay, it's a very simple setup. I have animated the brightness and evolution of the noise, which creates this kind of a movement, and it goes like from black to white or reverse, it doesn't matter. And I'm applying it on the applying to the first texture, which is the rubber toy texture. And here I also filled all the holes, since we have these black holes that is not desirable, which I would like to fill. So I'm creating an alpha channel, since I don't have this texture, which gives me this transparent look. And then I'm simply duplicating the texture and filling all those empty places. Okay, the same I did on the second texture. And then I simply add some retiming, and here I have, okay, it's also really fast, just to save some time. So this was it. And if we go back to our it may be look a little bit messy, but I'm pretty sure if you'll take care on your textures, and it will be much better. Okay, and also we actually have viewed a bunch of methods, so I'm sure you'll find the one that will work for you. Okay, so, and I think the last one what I did here, it's yeah, since we were transferring mostly textures onto as a point color, here I'm applying the same animated texture onto geometry itself. Okay, since we already transferred the UVs that we have, and here I'm applying this animated texture primarily on UVs, onto geometry, sorry. So now we have also another version again. So we have here our seams being distorted, which is again not desirable, but we can go around it by tweaking it with the with the original geometry. So here I created some animation just to kind of it's a cheating to simply start with the original and then hide it quickly during the transformation, and then again go back to original one. Okay, so it's also a method, and most of the time when you'll do visual effects, you will cheat. Okay, so let me do a quick cache of this as well, just to see how it look in the end. So as you see, there's a few ways how you can actually solve this type of problem, and it's always good to have at least a few of the solutions of every problem that you face. So I hope that was useful, and yeah, if you have any questions, you can ask me, if you will, and hope that was useful. And so let me stop it here, since it's fine. I will just run slowly. So as you see, it's there's a few things you would probably like to tweak, but the overall the overall transition from original to the morphing effect back to original, it's very noticeable. Okay, now again, as I said, it's a little mess, but overall it's workable. Okay, so I hope you liked the lesson. If you find it useful, please subscribe, and if you have any questions, please ask. I would love to answer your questions as far as I can. Thank you very much, and goodbye and good luck.